guys, I know it's been a while since my last video, so I'm going to pick up where I left off. I know I was waiting on my period in the last video. I ended up starting naturally without Provera, so that was exciting. So I did actually ovulate on my own. Now, the thing about it was because I ended up starting on my own, like that weekend, I didn't have enough time to order my injectable medication. So basically I started over the weekend, so I called Monday and I was like, hey guys, this is like really important. I just started my period. What do I do with this cycle now? They're like, well, let's just go ahead and do a letrozole cycle and we'll monitor you closely. We'll trigger shot and then we will do an IUI. So that was the plan. It was going to be exactly like my last cycle, just so I don't waste this cycle. And next cycle we plan on doing injectables if I'm not pregnant. So here's where I'm at on my current cycle. I don't remember what cycle I am, and I know that's so terrible, but I just had so much going on that I haven't been tracking it. Since I'm being monitored by my endocrinologist, it's kind of pointless for me to track it other than to let you guys know, so I'm sorry about that. But I did complete 5 milligrams of letrozole, cycle days 3 through 7, and then I started my scans on cycle day 10, and I've had 2 scans, so I'm somewhere around cycle day 14 or 15, okay? Maybe I'll figure it out walking through it with you guys. So cycle day 10, I had my first scan, which was on Tuesday. So yeah, so Tuesday. And I had lots of little follicles. I had a couple that were like 10s and 11s, and I just wasn't ready. So I came back Friday, which was yesterday. So they wanted me to come back, let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so today I'm cycle day 14. So there you go. So cycle day 13, I came back and we did another follicle scan yesterday, and I had an 11 millimeter follicle and an 18 millimeter follicle on my left ovary, and I had a 15 millimeter follicle on my right ovary. So they took some blood tests, some blood work, and my estradiol level was really high. So they're like, okay, your eggs are maturing, they're really good, so we want you to trigger we want you to trigger tomorrow night at 11, which is today. So I'll be doing my trigger shot tonight at 11 p.m. and then I'll be posting the video of it tomorrow. Since 11's so late, after I do it, I'm probably just gonna pass out and then go from there. So that's where we're at. Now you're up to speed. So now I get to talk a little bit about my saline hyalucephalograph or histo something or other. It's the equivalent to the HSG, which is where they inject dye into your tubes through a catheter in your uterus to check if your tubes are clear and you don't have any blockages, things like that. Well, I had that one done a couple of years ago, and I was not prepared. Nobody told me what it was. Nobody told me to take Tylenol beforehand. Nobody told me anything, and it was absolutely horrid. I don't know if it's because like my endometriosis or what it was, but it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I bled afterwards. I was cramping afterwards, but my tubes were clear, so it's very important that you get that test done. Now, with the saline one, it's different. The catheter's smaller. It's basically like an IUI. So if you find any discomfort in the IUI, I would suggest taking ibuprofen beforehand. They suggested me taking 600 milligrams. I didn't, because my IUIs are normally not uncomfortable. I mean, they're uncomfortable, obviously, but they don't cause me a massive amount of pain. So I had that test done, and it was very painful. But it was painful in the wrong places. It was, they said the most common pain that you'll experience is around the cervical area where they insert it, because it'll be irritated. I was uncomfortable, like on top of my uterus near my ovaries, so that could have been like when they were stretching my uterus out for, with the saline, that the endometriosis started to stretch and that it caused me pain. So that's a possibility, but we are not sure on that. So he suggested I do the colonoscopy since I'm still bleeding rectally. But I have an appointment the 28th, the day after my birthday, the 28th of March, to talk to my gastrologist about the next steps to move. And if I do a colonoscopy, you know, when in my cycle would be the best time to do it, and all of that. So that's a later date. But basically, the saline one was not as bad as the HSG, a little bit more comfortable than an IUI for me. But I would do it again if I had to. I had no fibroids, no nothing, you know, abnormal with my uterus. Everything looked really, really good. So basically, as I said, you know, my ultrasound yesterday showed really good. I had one really good 18 millimeter follicle. So he wanted to wait a full day and trigger tonight at 11 p.m. So I have, like, you know, over 24 hours for them to grow again. So that's good. I'll be triggering tonight with Ovidrel 250. And then they're wanting to come in for the IUI 36 hours later. So at 10 a.m. Monday morning, my husband will go in for collection, and at 11 a.m. will be my IUI. So with that being said, you know, over the next couple days, we'll be doing quite a few videos, especially during my 2-week wait, because I'll have to be testing out my trigger. And I got my 25-pack of Wandfo home pregnancy tests, so the dipsticks. So I'm fully prepared to start testing out this trigger and to see where I go with that. So basically, it's kind of where we are, guys. I got great news on my saline. You know, my follicles started growing really, really well. So, I mean, hopefully that this is, you know, this is it, and I don't have to go through the injections, but I went ahead and got the injections anyway. I have my Follistim pen with, like, my needles and my whole setup. It's going to be very interesting for me to be injecting myself with all that medication, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We will worry about what we're doing currently, and that will be the Ovidrel trigger shot that I've already done before. We'll be doing that tonight. So super excited about everything, hoping that this one works out. So I should be, you know, in my 2-week wait Monday, and then, you know, I'll probably start testing out my trigger right away, just because I like to see the progression, it getting lighter and lighter, because if I just randomly start testing at like 10 DPO, like, I won't know if it's getting lighter or darker, which is a really bad thing to do, because if you guys remember last time I was testing out my trigger, it was getting lighter, and then one day all of a sudden it got darker at like 13 DPO, and I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, that's what that has to mean. But apparently you can just surge, like, you can just have like a random surge of like the hormone being pushed out of your system. So it was false, because I got a blood test that day, and it was, you know, they're like, yeah, you have some in there, so we'll monitor you in 24 hours to see, and it was dropping. So I just like to see it, though. You know, I've never seen an actual positive pregnancy test, like, that my body's made, you know. It's always been the trigger, so I like seeing it anyway. It gives me hope knowing that, you know, my body can sustain the pregnancy hormone. I don't know. I like seeing it, so, and they were cheap tests, so I don't really care. So anyway, I'll show you guys my neat little injection setup for next cycle, if there is a next cycle, and then I will see you guys later, so hold on. So as you guys can see, here's my little setup. I have like my calendar, which the date's off, so ignore that. I have like my calendar with my pen and things that I need to write down. I have like a nice little relaxing candle. And I have my basal thermometer that shouldn't be here. It should be by my bed, but I have little dogs that like to eat it, so we have to be careful with that. And then I have like my my biohazard waste container. And then in here I have, see if you guys can see that, I have Tylenol in here. Here is like a little message that my husband had wrote me. So I have like a lot of like alcohol swabs and gauze pads in here. These shouldn't be in here, but as I said, they're useless to me, so I just kind of keep it all together. These are all of my ovulation testing stuff, but I don't test anymore because that's stupid. And in here, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Really complicated with one hand, just so you guys know. Sorry, you guys had to witness how difficult that was. And here is my Follistim pen and all of my needles. Woo. So, there's no medication in it, obviously, right now because it's in here. The medication is in the fridge. And I will go over all of this with you if and when I actually start my Follistim injections. I've been watching lots of videos over it. But as of right now, that's not something that we have to worry about. So that's kind of where we are with that. My medication's in the fridge if you guys want to see that, including like my Follistim cartridges. So here we have my Ovidril 250 injection that I'm going to be doing tonight. That's going to be interesting. And then in here, which is for next cycle, we have my Follistim cartridges, 600 IUs. There is one cartridge in there because I'll be injecting 600 IUs over the course of 5 days. And then there are also like some extra needles and things like that in there. But we'll get to that when we get there. As of right now, we're going to do the Ovidril tonight. And hopefully that's all we need. So hopefully that's all we need. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for hanging in there. I know that it's crazy. Like I've drastically stopped making videos and everything, but everybody needs a break when they're trying this long. And I know that I haven't been as consistent as I probably should have been, so I apologize for that. But I've had a lot of other things going on in like my personal life that have affected trying to conceive. So, you know, I mean, I can't really get pregnant and give birth to a child when, you know, I'm not at the peak of my health. So that is why that has happened. Zara, stop chewing on that. Zara. Anyway, so just a very busy life, but I'm back on track now and I'm ready to at least, you know, go for a couple more cycles and see where that takes us. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching and see you tomorrow.